All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into an incredibly powerful story about two very different lives to figure out what true wealth actually looks like. And spoiler alert, we aren't just talking about bank accounts here. We're going to explore human nature, resilience, and the sometimes harsh reality of who actually sticks around when the money runs out. So, picture this. Imagine two boys taking their very first breaths on the exact same morning in the exact same city, just a few miles apart from each other. One is born into a world with absolutely everything money can buy, and the other, born with practically nothing. It kind of forces us to ask right from the jump, who actually ends up truly rich in the end? Right off the bat, the differences are just staggering. One boy enters the world in this super luxurious private hospital, getting showered with expensive gifts and the absolute guarantee of inheriting a massive business empire. And the other? He's born in a crowded public hospital. His laborer parents are literally scraping pennies together just to pay the medical bills. No grand celebration, no financial safety net at all. Just love, hope, and a whole lot of faith for a better future. And as you'd guess, their childhoods completely split from there. One grew up in a massive mansion, basically handed instant gratification on a silver platter. But here's the thing. By shielding him from every single hardship, his parents unknowingly protected him from life's most important lessons. Meanwhile, the other boy is living under a leaking roof. He's watching his parents quietly skip their own meals just so he can eat. He's walking miles to school in shoes with holes in them, all while the wealthy boy is getting chauffeured around in luxury cars. But there's this crucial turning point in the poor boy's early life, and it comes down to a piece of incredible advice from his mother. I mean, imagine hearing this every night as you're going to sleep in a house with cracked walls. Never be ashamed of being poor. Be ashamed only if you stop dreaming. Wow. Those words became his absolute guiding light through some seriously dark days. Instead of getting angry when classmates made fun of his secondhand books, he made a promise to himself. He decided his success would eventually speak way louder than their jokes. Well, life has a way of testing that kind of mindset, and tragedy strikes pretty quickly. His father falls seriously ill, and their already tiny income? It completely vanishes overnight. Suddenly, they're staring at unpaid bills and empty shelves. But he doesn't quit. No way. He spends his days carrying heavy bricks, cleaning shops, taking quite literally any odd job he can find. And because they don't even have electricity at home, he studies late at night out on the sidewalk, under a streetlight. His body was exhausted, sure, but his determination was becoming totally unbreakable. Meanwhile, what's the rich boy up to? He's throwing extravagant parties and jetting off on expensive vacations. He was constantly surrounded by people, but he completely missed a really harsh reality. They were drawn to what he owned, not who he was. People were valuing him because of his money, his status, and what he could provide. They weren't in love with him, right? They were in love with his resources. But he fully believed success and admiration just belonged to him by birthright. He literally didn't know what it meant to fight for an opportunity or how to spot the people who actually valued his character. And then, bam! The circumstances completely flip. The poor boy's relentless hard work pays off. He earns a scholarship and launches a wildly successful career. At the exact same time, a series of totally botched investments wipes out the wealthy family's entire empire. The mansion gets sold, the cars get repossessed, and guess what happens to all those fair-weather friends? They vanish. Poof, gone. It proves a very simple, tough truth. Fake love disappears the second the benefits disappear. Real love chooses your character over your wealth, and he was learning that the hard way. Which brings us to a massive, massive question for this explainer. What actually happens when the money just disappears? For the very first time in his life, the rich boy experiences true fear and this really profound isolation. The safety nets are gone, the shallow relationships have faded into thin air, and now he has to face the world based purely on his own character, not his parents' bank account. You can literally just picture the scene, right? It's a rainy afternoon. The former rich kid, now completely desperate, walks into this sleek, modern office building just hoping to land a basic entry-level job. He walks into the manager's office and just freezes dead in his tracks. Sitting right there behind the big desk is the poor boy from his childhood, now a highly respected, highly successful businessman. The former rich boy just lowers his head, totally bracing himself to be humiliated by the guy he used to outshine. But instead of getting even, the successful businessman stands up, smiles warmly, and says something that just changes the whole dynamic. He says life doesn't test us to destroy us. It tests us to teach us. We all deserve a second chance. I mean, can you imagine? That level of astonishing grace completely changed everything for the former rich boy in that single moment. And you know what? That second chance becomes his real education. He takes the job with deep, genuine gratitude. He starts showing up early every single morning, learning every mundane task with total humility. Every challenge becomes a lesson for him. Every failure becomes his motivation. And over time, he doesn't just rebuild his career, he rebuilds his character. He finally truly understands that success earned through actual blood, sweat, and tears is vastly more valuable than success that's just handed to you. Fast forward a few years, their paths cross again. But this time, they're standing shoulder to shoulder at a charity event, actually funding education for kids in need. Looking out at the crowd, they realize just how much their crazy journeys have transformed them both. They're finally standing on entirely equal ground, totally united by a deep understanding of what actually matters in this world. So, looking at this, what's the main takeaway? Well, it's that both of these guys had to escape a completely different kind of trap to find any real meaning. One had to escape the very physical, systemic trap of poverty, and he did it through sheer, unyielding determination. The other, he had to escape the mental trap of arrogance and entitlement, which he could only do by experiencing profound humility and loss. Two totally different paths, but they led to the exact same wisdom. Because, as we saw in the story, money, status, those fair weather friends, they can vanish literally overnight. The true treasures, they're internal. Knowledge, discipline, kindness, integrity. This is exactly why you have to focus on becoming so valuable, so strong, and so successful in your own right. Build yourself up, protect your peace, and never, ever sacrifice your life for people who are just chasing what you own instead of who you actually are. And that brings the lesson directly to us today. If you're going through a tough time or struggling right now, please never lose hope. Your current circumstances absolutely do not define your future. And on the flip side, if you're comfortable or wealthy, never let pride take over. Stay humble, because life can change without any warning whatsoever. Respect everyone you meet, because you simply don't know the battles they're fighting today or the greatness they might step into tomorrow. I absolutely love this definition because it completely redefines wealth. It takes it away from material possessions and anchors it squarely in our daily actions. The genuinely richest person isn't the one with the fastest car or the fattest bank account. Not even close. It's the person who never stops learning, never stops working, never stops helping others, and critically, never ever loses hope. That right there, that is true unshakable wealth. Because it all boils down to this. Your character will always be worth more than your money. True love, genuine respect, they will always, always choose your character over your wealth. Fake love disappears when the benefits disappear. But your kindness, your determination, that's going to be remembered far, far longer than whatever wealth you manage to accumulate. So to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one thought as you step into your own tomorrow. We all spend our time and energy investing in something every single day. But knowing that true wealth and genuinely real relationships are based completely on what's inside, which one are you investing in today? Your money or your character? Think about it. Thanks so much for exploring this with me. Keep building that character, and I'll catch you in the next one.